morning, everybody. Good morning and good afternoon and good night, all over the world. Today we are trying to celebrate the Aniridia Day with a global connection, a real global connection from Aniridia Europe to Aniridia North America to Aniridia South America to Aniridia Asia. So more or less all the continents, also because there is also an Iridia Arab, and so also the African continent is with us. And I just want to introduce you all the components of this webinar, this meeting, and we can say all of them hello. So we are here with Galina Gunning from Aniridia Arab. Hello, Galina.
Hi.
And also Lautaro Schneider from Aniridia South America, who is the only man in a women panel. So hi, Lautaro.
Hello.
So
Hello all.
hi to Jamel from Aniridia North America and
Hello.
IWSA. Hello. And hello to Wayan Chan from Aniridia Asia.
Hello.
And hello to Kelly Dale Trout from International Vagre Syndrome Association. Hello, Kelly.
Hello.
And obviously, hello to Barbara Poli, President of Aniridia Europe. Hello, Barbara.
Hello, everybody.
So, ladies and guys, I want to start from Wayan Chan. I want to start to ask you how was your approach with Aniridia, and why you created the Aniridia Asia Association?
Yes, so it first started 3 years ago when my son was born, and no one can find out something wrong with him except my husband, because he's our third child, and my husband can tell something wrong how he attentions the eye contact. We've mentioned it to the doctors, pediatricians, everyone, but no one say anything. Except, we keep trying all the doctors, and then finally, when he was 1 month old, we found the doctor say, okay, I sent you to ophthalmologist. So, and then we got diagnosed. I would say the way they handle it is pretty good in Singapore, because they sent me to ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist is aware of Aniridia, and she told me, what is this? But the process was really scary, the way she explained to Frau all the terms that I've never heard before. And then, but immediately they sent me to do the kidney scan. They know that about the Wager. So I would say they're pretty knowledgeable about it. And then, but then the challenge is, after diagnosed, I would like to reach out someone who's familiar, or other patients, try to talk to more people. So I got distracted because my son is sneaking out from the hallway. Yes, so you might hear some screaming. Excuse me. So I may continue, but I think he might cry soon. You might hear some background. I'm sorry about that. And then, so I couldn't find out, I couldn't reach out anyone. Then I Google it, I see all the scary information. Then I found out the Facebook group, and I think that is great. Everyone around the world is there, and they have lots of supportive people like Alina, Jenna. They helped me so much, and I'll forever remember it. And I asked so many funny questions when I look back, but I just want to get the answer, because there's no one can answer me in Asia. And so I was thinking, why don't I start my own? Then at least I can reach out someone closer, rather than, America and Germany, that's so far away that I don't really go there every year, So I started that website, and then I build up, I don't know what do you call it, but I can see where their IP address, which their country coming from. So I can see that have few, from China, from Malaysia, from Indonesia. So it's really helped because I can know, oh, okay, there's one person just got diagnosed probably. So I keep in mind, then I will quickly able to pop a message when they log into my website. So that feature is quite helpful. But again, I'm a new Aniridia mommies here, so I don't have a lot of knowledge, but I just share some, I think is the basic necessary information, how to protect the eyes. At least you need to wear hats and glasses, don't do surgery, don't just consult one doctor or maybe multiple doctors for different opinions, reach out to social media, Facebook. So I think the Facebook group is just fantastic. I don't need to create something separate for that, but the purpose of my Aniridia website would be for newborn baby. That's what I think I need help the most at that dark moment, the first year or half that you just need that support, and to see those pictures and videos and words. And then also I try to get more information. I got a small number in Hong Kong, in Singapore, Malaysia, Japan. There's a large one they are developing in Philippines. So we got everyone together. I got my little one just woke up here. So that's little Rambi. And that's the purpose of my website. I don't expect myself with my own manpower could do something very big, to be honest. I need more connections, I need more manpower, I need more time for myself. But for the moment, I think at least I'm doing a bit to telling all the new parents around the world when they reach out to me, you can be happy because you might be sad right now, but soon once you settle down in that moment, you're just so happy. It's no different with any other children. Instead they're so special. You appreciate all the small moments that I don't see in my other two daughters. So it's changed my view as well. Yeah, so I hope for the future of Aniridia plan, I more connections with you guys, and it's so far away to really go there. And so if there's, as I mentioned before, if there's any online event, I would be very happy to put it through to the doctors to join as much as possible. I think they probably think, yeah, so I think we will have more discussions, with them. So that would be great.
So the power of being together. And please, can you remember us the URL of your website in this way? Maybe it could be reachable.
Can you say again? It's a bit lagging.
Can you remember us the URL, the address of your website?
Oh, yes. It's aniridiaasia.com.
Aniridiaasia.com.
Yes, very straightforward. Yeah.
I will say that problem was exactly that. Maybe the ophthalmologist where we went, she has knowledge about Aniridia, but not that much knowledge, because at that time, 23 years ago, most doctors had just a very abstract idea about the disease, and they didn't know really how was the prognosis and what would happen in the future of our children. So the first need I felt was the need to be in connection with other people, and this is why we started looking around for people in the world with the same disease, and to share information and share our also not only information but also our feelings. And we started creating some associations in Europe. The first one was the Spanish one, and then the Norwegian, Italian, the association in UK, and finally in 2011 we started with the Federation Aniridia Europe to put all together. And nowadays Aniridia Europe connects 14 associations in 14 different countries, and we have connections with people and informal groups or networks in 20 more countries in Europe, which makes a lot of countries and a lot of people, of course. So I believe that more or less this is the same story for the other people here in this panel, but maybe Janelle, you can introduce your story.
Certainly. My daughter, Ellie, is 14. And when she was born, of course, I had never heard the word Aniridia, just like most of us. And when she was about 1, I was able to attend a conference and got to know other people with Aniridia, really for the first time. And it was amazing to be in a room with people who knew the word nystagmus and could recognize it and could understand, the same things. And after that, got connected with a lot of people on Facebook. And it's been such a delight to be able to get to know people all around the world who are in this large Aniridia family. And then last year, I was able to join with Kelly and Sherry and Susan and Dr. Peter Netland and Drs. Lauderdale and Granger to help found Aniridia North America, with kind of the goal of it being similar to what Aniridia Europe is doing, in Europe, the good work that you guys are doing there. So that's been really exciting to be able to be a part of that and begin to collaborate more between North America and Europe and just kind of continue that work.
Okay, so we can go ahead with the...
Barbara, your microphone off.
We can go ahead with Lautaro, maybe.
Yep.
Lautaro, if you want to tell us your story, because your group is one of the most important group in Argentina, in South America, is one of the most populated groups on Facebook. So when it was created, and why?
Okay, yes. I tell about me and the group of the Facebook. I translate a little text for explain about this. Then, okay. Currently, the Cognitive Aniridia group in Argentina, we are 243 participants. Yes. This group was created because we did not know other people with some pathology. So together with my family, we created the group on Facebook to gather more people like this, obtain more recommendations, and exchange more informations. Okay, if you can feedback, if understand good, well.
Yes, absolutely. We can understand you well. And so maybe, Galina, about your story and about your activity with the Arab Association, and also obviously you are involved also in the Russian Association. But in this sense, we would like to ask how is the activity and when you created the Arab Association?
There is no association in Arab, Matteo, but we have few patients in Egypt, in Algeria, in Tunis, in Morocco, in Libya, in Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Emirat. So when my daughter was born in 2009, I used to live in Egypt because her father is Egyptian. And sure, like all of us, I didn't know nothing about Aniridia at this time. And I was trying to gather information from different uh, associations. For example, Aniridia UK was very active at this moment, Aniridia Spain, and AFI. For those three associations, I was gathering information from them, and I was trying to translate all the information, first of all into Russian language because I'm Russian, and then when I found a lot of information under my hands, I created website um, aniridia.ru, and then this website I add few languages. We have like registration form, and this registration form working in Russian, in English, was working in Ukrainian, Kazakhstan language, Lithuanian this time, and Arabic, because I said I used to live in Egypt at this moment. I said I may find some families from Arab countries also to give them information. So the main information are translated in all these languages and in Arabic as well. So people from different Arab countries, they start to register. They fill the form with the name, telephone number, and email address. This is how I start to contact all these families. And we made a group in WhatsApp and in Facebook, Aniridia Arab, and we have a page in Facebook as well, Aniridia Arab, and two doctors now working with Egyptian families, for example. There is no doctor in Libya. Libyan families, they are going to Aniridia Center in Germany. This is what I know. There is no special doctor in Tunis or Algeria or Morocco. They are going to France. And Iranian families, they are not a lot, but they have a group in Facebook, also with a doctor. We translated brochure Aniridia Europe into Arabic language, and we printed 200 copies from this brochure. And I myself, I give a lot of doctors in Cairo and in Luxor and in different hospitals in Red Sea. This all I was doing while I was living in Egypt. So now, like 2 years, I live in Russia, in Moscow, continue my work with Aniridia Russia, because this is a main association, because I'm a president of Aniridia Russia. And it's huge comparing with Arab. It's 450 patients now. But I'm in a group Aniridia Arab, and I help them as I can with the new information, sending links to our activities, what Aniridia Europe actually doing, our webinars, conferences, and all this, what we are doing in our European field. That's it. So I'm trying to do my best. And I'm trying to do my best in Aniridia Europe and Aniridia Russia and Aniridia Arab as well.
And about Aniridia Arab, how do you improve the communication? Because I think that they are different countries with different languages. So is all in English, or you have you
No, we
translate?
are the same language. We speak Arabic, but for example, I speak Egyptian dialect. Libyan, they speak Libyan dialect.
Okay,
Morocco, Franco-Arab, as well as Algeria.
but the languages are understandable, we can say.
We center in Germany. I used to translate for families who can't speak any English from Arabic into English with Dr. Barbara Kessman. So, I mean, we, in general, in our group, we communicate in Arabic, Matteo.
Okay, okay. So because there are a lot of words that are similar between the languages. So
Hello.
I can see
So
you.
now
I can. Yes.
they continue communicate, even like, as I said, I live out of Egypt now 2 years, and we have very active member also, Alexandra. She's originally, I mean, she's French, but she used to live in Alexandria all her life. She was born in Alexandria. She has an Aniridia herself. Now she living in Paris to communicate also in the group of Aniridia Arab. So it's no matter to be Egyptian or Libyan. Important you can speak Arabic and you can help each other. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a very good point, Galina, because what we are doing and what we are demonstrating is that in spite of all the barriers, we can communicate and share information, and we don't need to start everything from zero. We can learn from each other and share information. I think that Kelly is still, she hasn't talked yet.
Yes.
So Kelly,
Absolutely.
if you want to tell something about your what you do and your association.
Sure. So I'm just super excited to be here today. Happy Aniridia Day, everyone. So I'm Kelly Trout, and I'm with the International Wagger Syndrome Association. Uh, my daughter is 40 years old, and so that's a long time ago when she was diagnosed. And there was virtually no information about this virtually and in person in order to help each other. And so eventually we formed the International Wagger Syndrome Association. And our mission is to increase awareness for families about this disorder, how to care for our children, increase awareness among doctors so that they know the conditions associated with Wagger and can diagnose and treat those conditions appropriately. Um, and then supporting families, which is a real challenge because Wagger syndrome is so rare. Often parents discover that they are the only family in their state, their region, even their country. And so each of us feels like an island, and increasing that sense of community is really vital. Um, and then finally, part of our mission that's critical is facilitating research. Um, there is so much that is still unknown about Wagger. We've made tremendous progress, especially in the last 10 years, but there's a lot of work yet to do. And so when I look at all of the faces on this call, they're moms and dads and patients who are just determined to make sure that there's progress, that there's awareness, that there's research, and that there's support for all of us. And that I find inspiring and very exciting.
So thank you. And I want to ask to Wayan Chan, what is the perspective of your activity? What are the next steps and what you will do in the next months for Aniridia Asia?
Yep. So, the latest technologies, the genetics therapies or the treatment sounds very promising, and I really do believe with the technology help, now they got self-driving cars, all these amazing things would really change Aniridia people's life with or without treatment. And but I think it is great, it's amazing, and I think it's time for Asian people, the professionals and the patients to join in, because they should have a lot of populations, right? Like China is so big, Singapore is very small, Philippines is, they all should have hundreds numbers like you guys, but I just surprised that where are all these patients, if we can able to connect together, then that would be really great that the Asian scientists to join the project. We're all over the world, so it's hard to, even for myself, it's hard to say where I'm from. All my children, they're German, they have all multi nationality. So to us, it's not only one country. As long as it's benefits Aniridia people, I think we should just join in. That's what I feel like. And then yeah, I hope there's a days to come, and I do believe so, because all your successful organizations come long ways, and I just started for 2 years, so I don't expect something too big in the near future, but I hope there's more support to Aniridia Asia to reach out the world. And yeah, that would be exciting. And I hope one day there's a treatment available, not to grow back the iris, but at least you stop the secondary complications. That will help a lot already. And I think that is the future goals that everyone we are looking forward to. For the everyday goal is, if anyone contact me, I will first I calm the mummy stamp, because that's usually, I actually think we forget about the mummies, because we're all thinking about the children. But I actually think I might went into the depressions or what. It's just like so dark. And I actually think we should also spend time to consult the parents, because who do they speak to, right? Everyone is focusing on the children, which is important, but the mummy's mindset need to be healthy, and not looking at the child's crying and other things, and which happened to me. So that's why my focus not only on the baby, but also I try to explain to mommy everything is okay. Try to reach out to any mummies like you reach out to me, because that actually a little bit can improve their eyesight. I do believe this after I discussed with, and also one thing is I should, from my experience, not only talk to the ophthalmologist, but you can also talk to the child psychologist and also the neurologist, because they all hold different opinions. And so that give you more full concept how to raise a child with the maximum potentials, that not only visions, but how to stimulate the neuron signal. I think that just blew my mind. I wish I studied more biology when I was little, but I really learned a lot. So yeah.
Yeah. If I may comment on this, Matteo, just a very short thing. We just had our meeting, the national meeting in Italy, and there were babies, or maybe 1-year-old babies, and what the parents was really seeking for was sharing. And the most beautiful thing that happened, it was during the dinner, when some of these parents were talking to our grown-up children, because, well, Giorgio, my son, is 23, but with other young people in the association, they see that they are, well, grown up, that some of them are already graduated, they are educated people, some of them are already working, so they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and they see somehow the future of their children. And this is very important, because you don't have any idea what the future will be. Of course, none of us has idea about what the future will be. But if you have a hint, something that say your son, your daughter is going to be fine as anyone else. Yeah, this is really priceless, I think.
Yeah,
so this is really, really nice what you say, Wayan. It is very good.
Based on that, because that's what I want to see, how do they do when they're older? How do they they survive. I think I call it successful story or something like that. I feature few Aniridia people with, their photos. I remember one, she's a lawyer, and, Galina daughter's doing ballet. So, all these things people see is really encouraging. So that's what I put it on my website, So I think that's really good point for the mom at first, Then you can tell your children, you can do this, you can do this, nothing you can't do, because you look at them, they can do it.
Yeah, it's very important. You remember when you asked how Lisa see? I said that she can see 10%, and you said, "Oh no!" I said, "No, she's fine with this 10%. She can do whatever she likes." And
yeah,
it's like
you
in
don't
the
have
beginning,
that concept.
but then you realize like they can live with this vision, and they can live active life, and they can live happy life, and they do whatever they want. So this is important. It's very important you put in your website this kind of examples for new families with the newborn babies, so they can see there is nothing um, can stop these kids to do whatever they want. That's really important.
Can I add a comment as well? In terms of Wagner syndrome, our families often are faced with not only the aniridia diagnosis, but all, this huge long list of other conditions as well. And so the devastation is just compounded in that sense of, what possible life can my child have with all of these issues? And so, but we do exactly what you have done, Wayne. We've put on our website these photos and stories of uh, older children and adults with WAGR who, despite having all of, or many of the conditions associated with WAGR, are still living fulfilling, happy, productive lives. And that, I think, is the perspective that I desperately wished I had when my daughter was, here are all the possibilities. It's not going to be what I expected, but it's going to be good.
Yeah, just talking about it, I sent a message to Ruby, that to go Ruby, who got Margaret. I got a patient contact me from Australia, and she hasn't yet done the genetics test, but she confirmed have aniridia, but not sure about the WAGR. And then after she confirmed, the first one I say, go to take a look, Ruby. She do so well, So she took a look, and they are in contact now. So she can see out, that she's doing great. She's amazing. So she's feel more comfort now, and more confidence in the children's future. So I'm so happy. I just sent her a message today actually about that.
That's great.
Really,
Yeah, it's
really
so important. We have a young lady with Wagner syndrome. Kelly, this Elizabeth Klitschko. She's a champion of Russia, and we can be proud because she has an iridia as well. It's very, very like high level, and she has a Wagner syndrome, so it's more impressive in the end.
Yes, the potential for all of our children and for every patient it's wide open. And having that attitude from the time the child is very young is what I think gives us the motivation to ensure that they get the best education that we can find and the best medical care that we can find, because their future really is wide open.
Yeah, and I think accept the brochure for look after the children, which is great. I really think they should have a brochure of what we just discussed to show the parents. That's the main things. And then I think after knowing that, it just makes the whole journey, not only the patient itself, but the whole family, is much more happier. And after you might spend 3 years or 5 years to get that concept, so you can shorten the times. I think this is, we can do more about it.
We can do that as people who are the groups. Yeah.
Yeah, what we can say today, I believe, is that things are running both on the side of the social aspect, the social communication, because it is much easier to get in contact with other people and to know that you're not alone and to, yeah, and that you can get quite soon this, not only the medical information, but also the everyday life information. And it is that you can share your concerns or your ideas with other families, and that your child can meet other children with the same issues and be happy and play together. And on the other hand, I want to pick up what you have said, Kelly. There is so much still to know, but we have done a lot still, because while I was revising the scientific literature we have on Aniridia Europe's website, and in 2010 there was one article a year, more or less, or even less, just mentioning Aniridia, and even less about Wagner syndrome. Last year in 2021, there were 8 articles on Aniridia, and you made the recommendations for Wagner syndrome in the US, and you made them immediately available for everybody. So science is going on, and I think we can say that we could promote, we could support science, and it will continue this way, because we are still working on it, when we are promoting and we are creating interest in, and we are putting together patients and doctors and everything, and we have learned that together we are stronger. This is really a message that I would like this webinar to express for everybody. Together we are stronger. I'm sure that you agree, all of you.
But also, Barbara, this is the
Absolutely.
sense of this meeting, of this webinar, not because if we will have a vision about a global association of Aniridia, about a global collaboration on Aniridia and obviously Vagra and all the other syndromes that are connected to Aniridia, we will reach more results, and we will be stronger, obviously. And just to close this webinar and also this great conversation, I think I just want to ask you a last thing, a last one thing. If you think to the future of Aniridia, what do you think about? So, what is the next challenge to face at the moment?
I think one of the big challenges that I think we're going to see major steps forward in the next few years is in the area of corneal keratopathy. It's so exciting to see all of the different research in different ways that is being done all over the world to try to attack this problem. I'm really hopeful and excited by the collaborations I've seen, and excited to see in 10 years, what are we going to see about what can be done about that, or even to prevent it.
Yeah, in last conference in Spain, all the doctors and scientists, they said the same idea. They said, like, we have 5 years. In these 5 years, something great will happen. So all of them, Neil Lagali, Dr. Lauderdale, Peter Netland, they were saying the same sentence, like, we have maximum 5 years to have something great in our research in our Aniridia field. And another thing, what we are really coming near to, you see, we are now different continents talking about our plants and our life and our doctors. So I think next step, we can do some collaboration between association from different continents. Maybe we can do some world association, like there is some opportunity to make something global, like a global association, something like this. So
Yeah,
maybe
but
it's a good idea.
yes, this is an idea, but I think we are already doing it.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
so yeah, because of course, when when you're talking at a national level or even international, for example, inside the European Union, being a formally constituted organization is very important because you can formally participate to a project, for example, as we do, and we can get funds, for example, because we are a formally established association. This is more difficult to scale up to the international level, but we what we can really do right now, not in the future, is staying in contact and share. And if
Absolutely.
I have something that is useful for me, it is for sure useful for someone else. And there's no reason to waste time and information and resources. We have this wonderful opportunity because in older times it was, of course, much more difficult to be in contact with people on the other side of the world and the other side of the ocean, and sometimes even in the nearby country it was not so easy to communicate. But now we have really the opportunity to be together, and maybe sooner or later we will even form an international Aniridia or whatever.
Yeah.
But while we are waiting for this, we can work together. This for sure we are already doing. And maybe the big challenge in the future will be to keep the focus on rare diseases in general and on Aniridia, for, of course, and Wild syndrome for us specifically, because there are so many other things that concern people, for example, the climate change or right now, and other things. But I think that the challenge will be to show that it is much more important to work together, because in this way we can solve even the other problems, and yeah, put resources and energy in our dreams, so to say.
About dreams, Lautaro, if you look at the future, what is your dream about Aniridia or living with Aniridia?
Um, if Aniridia,
Can be
repeat the
treated.
question, please.
Can be treated, yes? Is what you mean?
Repeat the question, please.
So, uh, what is your dream in living with Aniridia? So, what is your perspective? I don't know your dream for your future.
Sueño,
Yes.
sueño los
My
en
yes. Well, my dream is, for example, uh, use a bike, for example, or travel on the world. Um, I do much more. For example, if see if I haven't an idea, um, I do more. Uh, for example, use a bike, use a car, or for example, travel in the world. For example, travel to German or similar.
About travel, obviously about the rest, I can tell you that maybe it will be not possible, but there are other ways to satisfy yourself in terms of driving. But about traveling, I think that I can give you just an advice. You just need to try it because, for example, I have traveled from Italy to US to Canada to and all around the Europe. I want to go in the future in Singapore, so Wai Chan, please help me
Yes,
to visit
I will
it
show you
in the
around.
best way possible. But it is all possible, Lautaro. So and
Um,
travel is the best thing you can do in order to help yourself to manage the aniridia. Because when you travel, you find a way to solve the problem, to fix the problem in a way that maybe you never think about. So I think, I think it's the best way to look at the future. And so if you will have the opportunity, please try to travel. So this is this is the message. I just want to add one thing to what Kelly said before. During the last weekend, we have our national association meeting in Italy, and we have two young ladies with the Vagre syndrome who obviously met before, but they went to our meeting. They came to our meeting because they met before, and together they were so happy and so nice. And I obviously agree completely with you, Kelly. And have had the opportunity to see them together, I realized how is important to meet together as we are making now, we are doing now with these meetings. So I think, as Barbara said, that we are right now creating a new global collaboration for Aniridia, and maybe this is the first step. Maybe I think that in the future we will make a lot again. So I just want to know if someone of you want to add something about the future, about the dreams on Aniridia.
Well, from ANA's perspective, we want to continue, since we are a fairly new organization, some of our dreams are to continue strengthening and expanding these global connections, you know, that this is a great example of. Um, and we want to begin more outreach to some of the other North American countries, Mexico, Central America, the Caribbean, to try to strengthen those connections and make sure that those patients and doctors are supported. So we have a number of those kinds of goals. And then, of course, to begin planning for the 2023 ANA Symposium, which hopefully we'll be able to, again, have a global gathering, either in person or online. So a number of those things we're certainly working towards. And then to develop more in the way of our patient educational materials and such in North America are some of our dreams and goals over the next year or two.
So great. And
Very inspiring fact that our doctors in really deep connections. I mean, the doctors from ANA and Aniridia Europe, they are so productive. They are working together, and it's really give us positive feeling about in future Aniridia can be treated finally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know, Matteo, I'd like to say that in terms of the future, when I hear Wayne talking about, uh, you know, the number of patients that there surely are in Asia who are not yet connected to patient organizations. And what I have seen over my decades of being involved with this is that so often when it comes to rare diseases, all it takes is a champion. It takes one mom, one dad, one patient to say, you know, I'm only one person, but at least I can do something. And you know, that's what Helen Keller said. I am only one, still I can do something. And and so these, you know, all the folks here and everyone who's involved in Aniridia related organizations, you know, we're all just regular people, and we have gotten involved and tried and been determined and patient and uh, motivated. It works. It works just to
Yes.
be a normal person who wants to help. And so for my dream for the future is that more patients with aniridia will become involved in their patient organizations.
So
There's always something that people can contribute to the effort, and that contribution makes a difference. It's what drives everything forward.
Yeah.
So
always.
I want to encourage everyone, especially on this Aniridia Day, uh, to consider volunteering something, some skill, or just uh, some of your own drive to help yourself, to help your child, to help other families. And you can do that through your patient organization. And together we are stronger.
Also because Kelly, during this weekend, always from the Italian Association meeting, I had the opportunity to talk with the youth group of Italian guys and ladies who at the moment are 20, 25 years old, more or less. And they said me, uh, we don't understand why a lot of people are not here, and why the people are not understanding that the contribution of everyone is essential, not only to grow but also to stay together and to help other people. So I think that your message is essential for all around the world, for all the association. I don't know if the other panelists, the other speakers agree with this.
Okay. Sometimes people do not volunteer because they think that a lot of time is needed, a lot of commitment, and so they're not sure that can be available or so. Well, what I want to say is that you don't need to be 24 hours, 7 days committed. You can just give a small contribution, and this is never irrelevant. What you can do, even a small contribution with a small time or a small commitment, is always helpful. Even maybe uh,
Yes.
a small fundraising in your workplace, or talking to your doctor, or whatever you can do. Even a small thing makes the difference.
Yeah,
And
and
all that, yeah, this is a lot.
I think one thing we should also make a point is, all the things doing is not just growing an organization. All the things we're doing is benefit our children. That's what they want. That's why we're doing it. We take them to the doctor, do all the treatment. It's all because we want them to, have a good life, have a good future, have a good treatment, less difficulties. So if they understand, just take one step forward, it benefits not the organization itself, but it's your child and the patient themselves. They would more willing to go, So there's this few I've been talking, we like to help and this. They say I don't have time because they think that one step is not going to help their children. I say we got more together, then you got the populations for the doctor to help us. If one doctor, so
So true.
I think these are very important and I think great messages to share with our community. So um, there is someone other who want to comment this. If not, maybe we
yeah,
can.
if they don't do much, they just have to step out and say, I'm here, so I put you in the database. That's all you need.
last thing I would like to add, I really wish in one day we can find all the patients with aniridia, all of them, like Norway did. You know, in Norway they have all the aniridia patient. Um, they know each other and they are inside the association. But because it's small country, it's more easy to do this. In Russia, for example, we're supposed to have 3,000 patients with aniridia. I wish to find all of them. Yeah, now we have like 450 something. So, but in one day, I hope we'll make this big, huge registry for all
Yes.
the patients, not only in
Yes.
Europe, in all the world.
In all the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you all for the time today in this webinar. I want to maybe invite you again in order to create another webinar with other contents in order to share your activities, your progresses and also your daily life, and to comment other good messages that does you shared with us today. So thank you to Lautaro, thank you to Galina, thank you to Jamel, thank you
You're welcome.
to Wayan, thank you to Kelly, and thank you to Barbara.
Thank you, Matteo.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Matteo, for managing. Thank you
Happy
very much.
Aniridia Day to
Aniridia
all the
Day.
people who are
Happy
watching
New
us.
Year Day
Happy Aniridia Day, everybody.
Yeah. Happy
2022.
anniversary.
So
Bye.
bye
Bye.
and
Goodbye.
have a nice evening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks.